This is the vineyard.
This is our North Vineyard here at St. Croix Vineyards. As you can see, we have some wine grapes here. This is the Frontenac grape. You can see this is a typical cluster. The grapes are actually much smaller than a table grape. This is very typical for a wine grape. This grape happens to be developed at the University of Minnesota by one of our owners, Peter Hemstead. And let me take you back to the winery. He's going to walk through the winemaking process with you and give you a little better idea of what we do here at St. Croix Vineyards.
So this is where it all begins, huh?
That's right. After we pick the grapes each fall, the first step in the real winemaking process is to run them through this machine in front of us. This is the crusher stemmer, and as the name implies, it does those two functions. It crushes the grapes and it destems them. Grapes are surprisingly strong. A berry seems very weak, but if you don't crush it to begin with, it's hard to squeeze the juice out later. Right after harvest, they go into this machine and get crushed and stemmed, and then the stems are removed, but the rest of it, the berries, the juice, and the skins and the seeds all get pumped into a press after that and get pressed out. This is called must now. You can see all the stems are gone. For red wine, we ferment them on the skins to extract the color and the flavor from the skins and the seeds. White grapes are pressed immediately because, of course, there's no color in a white grape, so those get pressed immediately. If you want, we can take a look at a press where we're pressing out some white grapes right now.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So this is our press. You saw the grapes being crushed a minute ago, and after that, they get the juice squeezed out of them. And that's what's going on here. This is actually full of about 1.5 tons of grapes right now. And there's a big air bladder inside that's slowly inflating and squeezing all the grapes. You can see all these little slats here. The juice is going to be running out soon. In fact, you can see some of the juice down in the trough at the bottom. But this process takes a little bit longer than the crushing, but this is how we get the juice, and then we ferment that and continue on the winemaking process. Well, Christina, here's where we actually make the wine in here.
This is where the magic happens.
That's right. Here we see the actual juice now being pumped through this pump, through this long snake-like hose, through the wall, and you can follow it along into this other room here where we're actually going to ferment it into wine. Well, you can see here's where the hose ends up, right in this tank. This tank holds 500 gallons worth of juice, and by the time we're done a little bit later this afternoon, it'll be full. What we're going to do is we're going to let it settle out for the next couple of days. After that, we'll transfer it to another tank and we'll start the fermentation process and start converting it into wine. At that point, we use a special strain of wine yeast and get the fermentation going. At that point, it will be bubbling a lot. What that is the yeast working. It'll be converting the sugar in the juice to both CO2, which will bubble out of here, and alcohol. And that's the basic winemaking process in a nutshell. Yeah. We make about 12 wines here. Everything from a sweet white to a dry red, and then a couple of dessert wines. So I'm sure we got something that you'll like.
Yeah.
It was great to meet you. Thanks for coming out, and stop back anytime.
Oh, I will be back.